I want to start out is by asking you guys, what kind of life do you want? You can answer this in the chat box here. Write it down on a piece of paper, or just answer the question in your own head. Do you want to work for yourself and control your own income, or do you want to work for others and let them control your income? Because ultimately, these are your two possible paths in life. Everybody has to make money. So obviously you need to pick one of the two, and I've done it both ways. I know what the pros and cons are to both ways. Let's see, a lot of guys are saying work for myself, control my own future, work for myself, work for myself. All right, I want to show you guys how you can make a full-time income building Amazon affiliate websites. What you choose to do with that income is entirely up to you. You can make as little money as you want to, just to supplement your income from another job, for example, or you can actually, work to get to the point where you can quit your job and make a full-time income just off of building Amazon affiliate websites. The best thing about this is you get to work at your own pace. With a real job, you're kind of forced into a particular schedule and rhythm. You don't show up on time, you get fired. So the biggest advantage of this is that you get to control your time and when you work. I'm going to teach you how to build a real online career. This is not a quick make a buck type of situation and tomorrow it's gone. This is something that you can do over the course of many, many years and continue to build upon it and improve your situation and grow your income the entire time. Most importantly, you get to be your own boss. Nobody likes having to answer to other people. You get to control your own destiny. Personally, I think this is the biggest thing. When you're working in a normal job, you're kind of left to go with the flow, and ultimately somebody else gets to control where you end up. It's up to your boss whether you get that promotion that you've been working for years and years. So when you're building your own affiliate websites, you really don't have to worry about that as much because you can control how much you work, how much money you make. You also get to consistently grow your monthly revenue. In a normal job, you're stuck making X amount of money as your salary, and it could be years before you get a raise, and even then your raises are typically pretty small. Building affiliate sites, you can continue to build new sites month after month after month and actually grow your revenue, and your income is only limited by your determination. So I want you guys to go ahead and tune your brains in, and we're going to learn for a few minutes here. I want to teach you about Amazon niche and product selection. I'm going to teach you about building customized WordPress websites that you can use to promote your Amazon affiliate products. And I'm also going to teach you some keyword targeting and SEO writing tips. I feel like these three things are kind of the pillars of building Amazon affiliate sites, and you really need to be able to master these things before you can start to get creative and kind of put your own spin on things. Before I get into that, for people that may or may not know a lot about Amazon, you might be wondering, why Amazon? Well, there were over $60 billion in Amazon sales in 2012. This basically just means that Amazon is a huge worldwide organization. They're number one in online retail sales. This gives customers a brand recognition, and confidence to purchase and to actually know that they're not going to get scammed and that the money will actually come back to them, or they will get their products as they order. There are more than 150 million Amazon members. These are people that have already purchased something from Amazon, they're familiar with it, and they honestly will not hesitate to purchase again. There are millions of products that you can target. This is really important because a lot of people will get focused on trying to promote the most popular products on Amazon, for example, the Kindle Fire. But there are so many people that are looking at targeting and promoting those products that if you try to focus on those, you'll actually find that the competition is too tough and that you won't be able to actually bring traffic into your site from it, or at least not without spending a lot of money in advertising or spending a lot of time actually working to build your website. But by targeting less popular products on the site, you can actually find less competition to go along with it. And this is really key in how much you're able to earn in the end. The sky is the limit with Amazon affiliate websites. You get to build sites for a steady, recurring monthly revenue. If you're going to depend on building Amazon sites for a full-time job, to depend on the income that comes in from it, you need to know that the money that you make this month will be the money that you make the month after and the month after that, and so on and so forth. Not only can you build sites that earn you a monthly revenue, but you can actually build and then flip your sites to make quick cash. For people that maybe don't have the time to spend, 6 months or a year or something building a whole bunch of sites that might be able to produce them $5,000 a month worth of income or something that they might need to pay their bills with, you could actually start by just building one site, getting it to make a little bit of money, turn around and sell it, and you can actually make thousands of dollars in a fairly short period of time this way. Another thing is that you can get hired for freelance jobs to build Amazon sites. There are a lot of affiliates out there that don't necessarily have the time to do it themselves, or they're taking the money that they have earned from their existing sites and they're trying to put it back into their business to build it. And people will actually pay you $1,000, $2,000 or even more to build complete Amazon affiliate sites for them. And all you really need is a simple track record that you can show them that you have built sites before that are making money. And then it's pretty easy. Once you've mastered all the concepts, you can also then go on to teach other affiliates how to do this type of thing. You get familiar with the systems that I teach, and then you can put your own creative spin on things and actually come up with your own new system that you can teach people. For everybody that sticks around to the end of the webinar, I have a Amazon niche research guide that actually has my step-by-step process that I use to research niche domain names, to find a new Amazon niche, and to register a domain name for the niche. So make sure you stick around to the end, and I will give you a link for that. So obviously, my name is Ryan Stevenson. You may or may not already know much about me. I just want to take a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit about myself. I actually went to college at the Art Institute of Atlanta. I was majoring in computer animation, and then I got married while still in college, and then we had a baby, which led to me dropping out of college. And then working for a living became my focus. I actually ended up cooking in a restaurant to, pay the bills. I felt like I had a lot of knowledge and had a lot that I could offer to the world, but without that piece of paper saying, that I had completed a college degree, for example, there was just not a real company out there willing to give me an opportunity. So I was stuck working an everyday normal job, making, barely more than minimum wage. And here I am providing for, my family instead of doing what I thought I was going to do. So the key is to be determined to succeed. If you fast forward 12 years, I'm actually still married now, and I have 3 children. And I am working at home for a full-time income, and my wife does not work. I'm not rich. I won't lie to you, but I don't struggle for money on a monthly basis either. And Amazon affiliate websites is actually the single thing that I can attribute to all of that happening for me. One of the biggest things that I've learned is that you have to overcome life's obstacles. There's always going to be something out there that will get in your way. I had family the whole time begging me not to quit my real job, saying that I was chasing this stupid online dream, wanting to make money, working at home, sitting at my computer. They thought it was lazy. They didn't think that it was anything that could last. And obviously I could have listened to them and given up and kept working the standard 9-to-5 job that I was working at the restaurant, which I actually ended up working that job for a few years. And during the course of working there, I was training to become the kitchen manager at the restaurant. And I actually spent a solid 2 years doing all of this extra work, going out of town to all of these training seminars and doing all this online learning and all these requirements that they had to be able to do this job. And then the time came down to it to get the promotion, and they ended up promoting me to a management position, but it was not ultimately what I had been working for. I was ultimately given an assistant position. And then, the paychecks roll around, and I'm looking at a whopping $20 extra every week on my paycheck. And I just went home and sat down and said to myself, it's just not worth it. I spent years, busting my butt for these people, trying to make a difference for them and show them that I had what it takes to move forward. And even though I did everything that I was supposed to do to reach that point, you still don't control everybody else. People can simply slam a door in your face whenever they feel like it. And so that was really the turning point for me when I decided that this was not what I wanted to be doing for the rest of my life, that I simply had to figure out something else. And so I consider that one of the biggest life obstacles that I personally had to overcome. When you reach that point, you will find that there are sacrifices that you're going to have to make to be able to get what you really want. This could be sacrificing your time. This could be making, some changes to your budget to be able to afford to, perhaps take some time off of work to be able to devote that time towards trying to build a new career or get something else started. But regardless of what your situation is, you will find that there are sacrifices that you will have to make. And you just have to ask yourself if you want it bad enough. And if you do want it bad enough, then you have to make those sacrifices, because if you do and you are determined to succeed, you can get there. All it takes is some hard work and perseverance. Most importantly, plan for the future. There are a lot of internet marketers out there who are just looking to make a quick dollar. They're trying to pay their bills for the current month. And they won't really care about what they have to do to get that. It is not the kind of marketer that you want to become, because not only is it something where you may not be able to sleep at night doing what you're doing, but then it's also, it offers no longevity for yourself. You know, whatever business you're building for yourself online, you want this business to be able to last 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years into the future. Maybe even be something that you could pass on to your own children. And so I really think that planning for the future is one of the most important things, because if you get too nearsighted with your marketing aspirations, you can actually end up causing damage to what you're doing, and your future goals may not be able to be achieved anymore once you cross a certain point. Another key is to get help from those already doing it and learn how they have achieved success. You can certainly learn things on your own. Try to figure out your own way of achieving the success that you are after. If it involves online marketing, though, there are people that have already been there and already done it, and they have a proven method that you can actually use and that anybody can use to repeat the same success over and over again. All it takes is putting in the work to do it. I'm actually one of the guys that did not get help from people that were already doing it. I said to myself, I'm not going to go out there and learn all these other techniques that everyone's doing. I'm not going to go out and buy the latest marketing product and try to, you know, make money doing it the way that these other guys are doing it. I want to go out there and be the guy that figures out their own way to do things. And while it's a good idea in theory, the truth is that it just takes a lot of time and a lot of work. I spent the better part of a decade really learning how to be an online marketer and how to build websites and how to promote products as an affiliate and how to do it all successfully. And, you know, obviously that is something that everybody else can still teach themselves how to do. But when you learn from people that are already doing it, you can actually bypass years and years and years worth of trial and error and wasted time and money and just jump straight to the stuff that works and spend your time doing that work and making it happen for you. Most importantly, never give up. There are a million things that can try to force you to give up. You simply need to keep at it. If you try once and it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean that it's not impossible. It doesn't mean that what you did wasn't correct. You just may have missed something, possibly a very important piece to it. But in the online marketing world, I found that sometimes that's all it takes is you miss one tiny little piece of the puzzle, and it can make it appear as though the system simply doesn't work, when in fact it might be a great system. You just might have, you know, missed one tiny little piece of it. I want to ask you guys to go ahead and make a personal commitment to yourself. Do you want to pave your own path in life? Or do you want to follow the herd and live a life out of your control? You can answer this in the chat box, write it down, answer it in your own head. It doesn't matter. The point is, you need to decide which one you want to do, because you have to put forth a lot of work and effort depending on which path it is that you decide to pick here. And What you don't want to be doing is wasting a lot of time and effort following one path because you feel like you have to be doing it, and instead you want to put your focus on the path that you actually want to be taking in life. And once you do that, you'll find that it's like a snowball effect. You just continue pushing on and pushing on and pushing on, and you will eventually get there. I want to talk about what a niche is real quick. Some people may or may not already be familiar with it. An example here that I will use is electronics. Electronics is a niche, but if you were to try to create an Amazon affiliate website centered around electronics, which is actually something that people will fairly commonly try to do, you could actually find yourself putting out a lot of work and honestly ending up with possibly absolutely nothing in return. And the reason why is because electronics is such a broad niche. When you're building affiliate websites, what you actually want to do is drill down into each of these niches and categories and find yourself something more specialized, something that you can actually completely cover on your own on one website in a fairly reasonable amount of time. Because ultimately, if you don't have more information on your website than what another website has on the same niche, then they will end up getting the better search engine rankings than you will. So drilling down into electronics a little more, you can see that here are some more example niches here. Cameras, computers, audio appliances, cell phones, televisions. These are more specific niches here, but still there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of products in any given one of these categories, and it's simply not realistic for one individual person to build a website to cover all of that possible stuff. So what you want to actually do is drill down even further than that and look at sub-niches of sub-niches. Within cameras, for example, you could have digital cameras. You could have camera lenses. You could have camcorders. You could have accessories for camera. You could have film for cameras, even though nobody probably buys that anymore, except for the professionals. Even so, even with one of these sub-niches here, like digital cameras, for example, you're still going to have piles upon piles of products within that. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is, if you're finding yourself trying to target niches that you might see up here on your screen right now, then you're probably finding that you have a tough time bringing in traffic for your niche and your targeted products. What you actually want to do is drill down as deep as you possibly can and try to find a very specific niche of products that you can center a website around. For example, in cameras, in digital cameras, you know, look for a very specific type of camera, digital camera, that people are looking for. Maybe it's an HD camera, maybe it's a 3D camera. You could even drill into those categories even more and actually come up with even more specialized niches. And when you're building websites that are centered around these highly specialized niches, you'll actually find that search engine traffic is really easy to come by. Probably 90% of the Amazon affiliate sites that I have ever built required absolutely zero backlinking, networking, marketing. All it took was building the site and putting it out there, and they got the search engine rankings and brought the traffic in for me without having to go out and do all this extra work. So then I was able to just make one site and throw it up and make another site and move on to the next and the next and the next. And you can really build a lot of sites in a fairly short amount of time when you don't have to go through each site and actually specifically market it and build links to it and do all these other time-consuming tasks. All you're doing is actually just building the website and moving along to the next one. Niche product research. What you want to do is to start with products that closely fit your website niche. This may seem fairly obvious, but I have seen hundreds of sites before that will be centered around a specific subject, but then they will try to promote a product on that site that really has nothing to do with it. They might have just picked the product because it was expensive, like they picked a $1,000 big screen TV and put an advertisement for that up on a blog about, gardening or something like that. It seems silly, but I've seen it over and over and over again, and I just want to make really sure that you guys aren't doing that type of stuff and that you're actually selecting your products to be centered around the topics that are on your site. And it's much easier to get sales that way. There must also be a desire to buy the product online. There are certain types of goods that are sold on Amazon that 9 times out of 10, people will simply just run out to their closest retail store, Walmart or Best Buy or whatever the case may be, and they'll simply just buy it from there. They might use online as a way to compare products and see what is out there. But ultimately, you need to try to figure out whether people actually buy a product online or whether they're going to the store to purchase a product. Because if you're promoting products that people are just buying in a retail store most of the time, it can end up being a lot of wasted time, and you might be like, I'm getting all this traffic to my website, but none of it's converting, and you might not know why. 9 times out of 10, this ends up being the reason why. One of the ways that you can do this is to actually compare prices. Ultimately, especially nowadays with the bad economy, people are looking for the best deal. If it means they run to their retail store and pick it up there because the price might be higher, but combined with a shipping cost to have it sent to them, it could be more expensive to purchase it online. So sometimes you might need to put forth a little bit of effort to try to figure out what people are buying online and what people are buying in the retail stores. Sometimes it's not as obvious as price comparisons. It could be product availability. There are certain things that are easily found online, but then you could run to 10 different retail stores in your local area and not find it. Those are the types of products that are often the best to be targeting on your sites. Another important aspect is to consider the level of niche competition. I brushed on this very briefly a little earlier when I was talking about people that promote some of the most popular products on Amazon, like the Kindle Fire, for example. You're not going to be able to easily enter into these markets because the competition is simply too high. There's simply too many affiliates out there that are trying to refer sales on these products. Not everybody can fit into the top 10 of Google. So obviously, when you have thousands and thousands of people all going after one thing, that should be a little red flag going up saying, hey, this is something I actually need to avoid instead of pursuing. I touched on this already too. Compare Amazon product prices with other retailers. This is one of the easiest ways that you can figure out whether people like to buy it online. You can also, besides Amazon compared with a retail store, you can also compare Amazon with online retailers because there is more than one place that you can go online to purchase something. A lot of times Amazon will have the cheapest price, but there are certainly exceptions to this out there. And if you're promoting a product on Amazon that's available on another website for $20 less, you could end up essentially never referring a sale to something like that. One of the last things here is ensure that products are not poorly rated. You might notice that I didn't say to ensure that products are highly rated. You'll often hear about other Amazon marketers are saying, you know, target the 4-star and the 5-star products because those are the products that, you know, have great reviews and they're going to be easier to sell. And while having a good review on a product isn't necessarily a bad thing in that way, it can indicate that there is actually a lot of competition on that product. Because obviously if something has had 100 you know, reviews on it, that product is getting an enormous amount of sales on Amazon. There can actually be a couple hundred purchases on a product for every one review that is found on the Amazon website for that product. So when you're only focusing on the top reviewed and rated products, you can actually be excluding all these other great products that are really easy to promote. Don't be afraid to promote a product that doesn't have any reviews on it at all. Especially if you can do a little bit of research on that product and find out that it's something that's fairly new on the marketplace. Obviously, a brand new product, no matter how great it is, when it first hits Amazon, it will not have a review rating on it. And if you're one of the first people to identify one of these products and start promoting it before it gets all these great reviews, you can kind of solidify your position in the market as being an authority on that product and be showing up in the search engine weeks or even months before other people are even building a page on their site to try to target that product. So when you can get in on the bottom level like that, that's actually one of the easiest ways that a lot of people overlook that you can you know, easily get sales and get traffic. So when you're researching Amazon products, there are all these different pages on Amazon. I'll go ahead and reveal all these for you here. Sorry about that. The different Amazon research links, they are different pages on Amazon that show, for example, the best-selling products, the newest released products. This one in particular I really like. You know, look at what's just been hit on Amazon and try to go after those, especially before the other affiliates find out about them and jump on them. Movers and shakers can be another thing too. It can alert you to the products that are recently gaining a lot of popularity, and there might be a lot of search engine traffic out there for things like movers and shakers where it may not be showing up on things like the Google keyword tool, for example. Let's see, Eric is asking if there is any software which can do these niche product researches. There are a lot of products out there which try to automate these processes. 9 times out of 10, at least when it's dealing with Amazon products, I've actually found that the software will tend to focus on you know, the high review ratings and things like that, which personally I think if you're using software like that, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and it can be a good time saver. But by actually going onto the Amazon site yourself and just searching around manually for something for a little while, you'll actually end up finding things that the average marketer isn't finding, because you always have to remember that there are hundreds or possibly even thousands of other marketers out there that are using the exact same software tools as you and might be getting the exact same results from them if those tools are not designed in a way to keep things unique in that way from one user to the next. If you guys have any questions about niche research, go ahead and ask. I will pause for just a minute here and see if anybody has questions. See my guy sitting on the question mark here, so don't sit on your questions. If you have something you would like to know, feel free to ask, and I'd be more than happy to answer it for you before I move on. Okay, no questions. I'm going to go ahead and continue then. I'm going to talk about WordPress for a few minutes here. If you have not used WordPress before, this could help you out for just a minute. I wanted to talk about why you should use WordPress for building an Amazon affiliate site, for example. Honestly, they are great for building pretty much any kind of website. I actually use WordPress to build all different kinds of websites. Honestly, I can't remember the last time that I actually used something other than WordPress to build a site. All of my affiliate sites, all of my blogs, all of my e-commerce sites, all of my WordPress plugin websites, everything is built on WordPress. It's a highly versatile system that you can use for pretty much anything. It's easy to customize. It does not require HTML, CSS, or programming knowledge, and it is easy to expand the functionality with other plugins and themes. As I was mentioning before, I use it for a wide variety of different kinds of websites, and it's ultimately the plugins and the themes that allows you to do that, because you can use it to change the way that your site works. Building custom WordPress websites. Let's see. I have Claudia here asking which theme is good to use for Amazon products. This will actually answer your question here. I recommend the Weaver theme, especially for anybody that is looking for a free WordPress theme that you can use. You can actually go into any WordPress site of yours and go to your themes area and search for new themes on there and just type in the name Weaver. There are two versions of it. One is an older version, and there's actually a newer version of it. I'd recommend grabbing the newer version, even though the older one still works. There are, upgrades for Weaver for like a professional edition, but I've honestly never purchased it. I have no connection with this theme whatsoever. It's just a theme that I've found is easy to use on a wide variety of websites. It's easy to customize. It offers a lot of site design customization options. It's easy to switch out your header images, to change all the colors of your site. It has a whole bunch of pre-built designs and themes that actually go along with it. So I just personally find that it's really easy to use and can offer a lot of customization. So I personally use Weaver on almost every WordPress site that I make. Every now and again I might have a specialized purpose where I want to use something else for it, but 9 times out of 10, if not more, I'm using Weaver. You want to, after you have installed your theme, you need to go ahead and come up with a plan for your site before you actually go through and create your site. Plan the different pages that you are going to have on your site, what will be talked about there, what products will be promoted there. It makes it a lot easier, because then when you're actually going through and building your site, then you're not lost and jumping from one thing to the next. You can actually stay on track a little bit more. Despite our technological world, I'm actually a big fan of sticky notes and notepads. I use them all the time. I've got a big stack of them sitting here on my desk that I've used to plan basically every website that I have ever done, every plugin that I have ever programmed and developed. It's all sitting right there. It makes it really easy to, go through a to-do list, for example, that you need to complete to have a site finished. Whatever your preference is, it doesn't really matter. I just, try to share a couple of my little strategies that I like to use. When you're creating the pages on your site, there are 3 different types of pages that you are going to have. There are category pages, your product or information pages, which might have your advertisements on it, and then you have the home page of the site. What I actually like to do is to completely avoid the typical WordPress category and post system, and I specifically stick to creating pages only. And this even goes for the category pages here that I've mentioned. I am not talking about WordPress category pages here. I'm actually just talking about creating a standard page on your site, and it kind of being the introductory page for a specific category or subcategory that might be located on your site. And then the category page would then link to relevant product or information pages that would belong in that one category. And then your home page would link up to your different category pages that you have. So it kind of helps to create this hierarchy, file structure system on your site. Makes it easier for people to navigate, and honestly, it helps to get WordPress away from that standard blog style looking website. It makes it look more like just any other real website, for example. A few recommendations for WordPress here. Once you have installed WordPress on a site, I find that there are a couple of particular things that I always do on every single WordPress site that I set up. If you've never set up a WordPress site before, this should help you to simplify it, to just give you a couple of quick steps that you could run through when you are starting each of your new sites. And if you have used WordPress before and you're already familiar with it, this still could be helpful for you. Maybe there's something here that you don't do or that you haven't considered doing before. So what I will actually do is in the settings, you want to set your site title and your tagline. The site title, I am typically targeting the site title towards a specific keyword phrase. This will often be the primary keyword phrase on my website, and then the tagline that I create to go along with the title will just be a short sentence that describes the site title and what the site will be about, but I am often looking to avoid repeating the same words from my title in my tagline. I kind of want to describe it in a different way. This actually helps with search engine rankings because you don't want to sit there and repeat the same word over and over and over again. You want to say it in different ways, talk about it instead of actually repeating it over and over again. Once you have created all the pages on your site, you want to set a static front page. The home page that you created that links to all of the category pages on your site, you can then go in and set that as your static front page to where when people type in your website address or first land on your website, they will see that introductory front page instead of the typical WordPress blog style listing that is normally shown, where it's just simply showing a summary of each of the posts that are on the site. You also want to disable post comments, at least in 99% of situations. I've had WordPress sites running that receive you know, real search engine traffic, Amazon affiliate sites that refer regular sales, and over years and years and years of running these things and having tons of different sites, I have honestly only seen a small handful of comments that actually came through that were valid. Most of the time it just ends up being a complete waste of time. So I actually will end up going through and disabling the comments most of the time. Be sure to use post name permalinks. This is a pretty simple procedure to do. You just select a little radio button and tell it to use the post name permalinks. This keeps the URL addresses for the different pages on your site from simply being represented by a number. It will actually change it into the name, the title of each of your posts. I also recommend using an SEO plugin like All-in-One SEO Pack or SEO Ultimate. These will help to set up the meta tags that you need for search engines. They can help to optimize your site for search engine rankings, and they can even provide you with a way that you can exclude certain pages on your site from getting indexed if you have pages like those. One of the other really important things that I find is to add your sites to Google Analytics and Google Webmaster Tools. It's really important to track the traffic that you're receiving on your sites, especially where the traffic is coming from, and then also what the traffic is doing once they land on your website. By just spending a little bit of time reviewing your traffic information, you can actually tell how people are perceiving your site and how well everything that you've constructed there is actually working together by essentially figuring out people's habits when they land on your website. I also highly recommend creating custom WordPress menus. This could be for the top menu bar, or it could also be for the sidebar menu. A lot of themes, like the Weaver theme that I recommend, will actually take every page that you make and go ahead and stick it in the default menu. And so you'll end up with a really large menu with a whole bunch of different pages on it. All you have to do is create a custom menu, add the pages to it that you want to be showing up in your menu bar. What I will often do is select my category pages and then my home page and have those linked up on my menu bar. And then you can simply specify your menus and where you want them to go on your site. Makes navigation a lot easier. Just clean up the navigation a little bit on your websites and make it easier for people to use once they actually land on your sites, and they'll be able to, you know, make their way around and find the things that they're actually looking for. I'm going to take a minute and pause again for questions. If anybody has any questions about WordPress, building custom WordPress websites, if you have a you know, something specific that you're not quite sure how to do, that you've been trying to figure out how to do there, you know, feel free to ask a question real quick, and I'd be more than happy to answer you. And if I don't get any questions after a minute or so, I will move on. No questions on WordPress? Anybody? All right. No questions. I will go ahead and continue. All right. Claudia is asking, what's my take on themes like Covert Store Builder? there are a lot of different Amazon themes out there. There seem to be more coming out all the time. From a user's perspective and a marketer's perspective, they are nice looking, and a lot of times I do think they are friendly to use for your website visitors. The main problem that I typically have with some of those custom-made Amazon themes is simply that a lot of times they won't offer a lot of customization options, way for you to make your site look different from everybody else's site that's using the themes. Personally, I like to have a little bit of something that sets my sites apart from other websites, even if it may not be as polished looking. You know, if people go and view an affiliate website and they recognize it as an affiliate website, and that becomes a negative reaction to that type of site in their mind, then any other time they run upon another site that looks just like that site, it can be an instant reason for them to leave your site and to not even give it a second chance. From a programming standpoint, a lot of themes are questionably made. I have seen that there are a lot of flashy JavaScript-based themes that will have a lot of conflicts with other products. And it's not that the products that they are conflicting with are bad. It can actually be the programming in the themes that are bad. If the developer doesn't properly load all of those JavaScript files and routines, it will still work within that theme and for the functions built for that theme, but then other products that are added into that site, if they're depending upon JavaScript, it may not actually be able to work depending on the situation and what it's trying to do. So from that perspective, I guess is one of the reasons why I do recommend that people use free themes like Weaver, but just so you can make a customized site that will be different every time. But then there are a lot of good themes out there. I've not personally taken a lot of time to look into Covert Store Builder and everything that it does and how it interacts with other products, but I do know a lot about those particular developers, and they do seem to put out quality products. I'm not aware of any programming issues with those particular themes, at least not initially. Claudia is asking, any SEO plugin all-in-one is good for you? I actually use SEO Ultimate, but either that one or all-in-one is honestly fine to use. I've seen and messed with sites that have both received good results using either one of them. SEO Ultimate is just something that I kind of got started using a number of years back, and it's just something that I've stuck with using because sometimes I'll use it along with other plugins that may take over control of one particular feature in it, and so I'll just simply deactivate specific modules within SEO Ultimate, and so I may have another plugin take over my meta keyword generation for me, for example. Well, then SEO Ultimate will then take care of anything else that I've left enabled. But really, it's just, I think it's a matter of personal preference, at least between those two particular plugins, because they have both been around for many years. They're both reliable to use. See, I think Guy was clarifying about themes that automatically populate the store with Amazon products. It's themes like those which I think on the outside they appear to be a good concept, but ultimately anything that's automatically generating a store for you or content for your website, that same exact content and pretty much a duplicate carbon copy of your own website could end up being built by another person too. And from a search engine's perspective, there's not a lot of reason for them to actually pay much attention to a site that has the same content on it that can be found on a million other websites. I feel like you need to add at least something unique to all the pages of your site, or at least most of them, just so it's something that stands out both to people that are visiting your website and then also for search engines as well. If there's no more questions, I will go ahead and move on now. If you guys come up with any other questions as I go along, feel free to ask anytime. I just have a couple of predetermined stopping points in here where I give you guys a few opportunities to ask some questions. Next thing I'm going to talk about is search engine keyword targeting. Always research your keywords to target on your site through the Google keyword tool. There are a lot of people that use this tool for their research, but they may not use it correctly. I find it really important to make sure you're only viewing the exact search result, keyword, traffic figures. If you're just looking at the standard, like whenever you go to Google keyword tool and punch in your keyword and click the search button, those initial numbers that it gives you, those are highly inflated numbers. They're more generalized. Like you could type in the word car, and essentially any keyword search that had anything to do with cars would then be lumped into that one traffic figure. But then if you're looking at the exact traffic figures, it's more realistic of what you can actually expect or hope to achieve on your site. Do not try to target extremely high traffic keywords. Lower traffic keywords will always have less competition. There is a little competition bar in the Google keyword tool. Ignore it. That competition bar actually only applies to the Google ads that are showing up on those keywords. You have to remember that the Google keyword tool is not something that's provided by Google for marketers to use to research keyword traffic levels for keyword targeting on their own websites. It's actually a tool that is used for advertisers on Google that want to bid on specific keywords. So that competition gauge is a gauge of the competition for cost per click advertising for that keyword on Google. Sometimes that competition will be a similar level to the actual search engine competition with the organic results on that keyword phrase. But it's definitely not something that you want to just simply look at and just say, oh, it's high competition and move on, because it may not be the case with the actual organic rankings. Search your target keyword phrase on Google and then examine the sites that rank the best, and especially take note of the size or complexity of the sites. One of the most important things is to look at the other sites and to actually see how much work they have had to put forth to be able to get into the position that they are. And by looking at a couple of different sites, you can kind of start to get a basic understanding of whether a site, had to just put up a couple of pages on a topic to be able to rank for that, or whether they had to put up, 100 or a multi-thousand page website, for example. Obviously, you don't want to be targeting the keyword phrases that are going to take you an extreme amount of work to be able to rank for. What you want to do is to target the ones that you can quickly achieve a top 10 ranking for and bring in traffic, no matter how much it may be. Could be a little bit of traffic, could be a couple hundred visitors a month. It really doesn't matter. You target a bunch of these different keyword phrases that are all low competition, and all the traffic adds up pretty quickly. When it comes to writing content for search engines, there are a couple of important things that you need to remember. One of the most important things is do not be afraid to experiment with your page titles. Short page titles will often be targeted, for a specific keyword phrase. If you're building a page about cars, you might just try to title the page Cars, for example, hoping that that would be the most relevant fit for when somebody searches that keyword. But what I've been finding, especially over the course of the last year or so, is with Google's updates, they're actually looking into the meanings behind your titles. So you can actually say, instead of a short title like Cars or whatever, you can actually get a little creative and descriptive with your page titles, and actually achieve better rankings that way. One of the most important things you have to do is to never overuse your target keyword phrase. I always recommend to talk about your phrase instead, and to try to avoid repeating the same words that are contained within your phrase. And going back to the car example again, if you're building a page about cars and every sentence is cars this and cars that and cars this and cars that, it's going to appear to Google, when they break down your web page and look at all the different words and the frequencies that you've used those words on that page, they're going to see cars way up at the top with an obscene, 10% or more keyword density percentage, and it's just going to automatically get tossed out from even being a considered site to rank for that phrase. So instead, you want to actually think beyond, just standard words and actually put together an experience on your page. Use, lists and videos, pictures, link up to other pages that are out there. Everything being centered around the content of that one page that you're building. So then when search engines go and they look at the content of your page, they look at all the different things that are contained upon your page, they see it as being a good fit for that particular search engine phrase. And then, you get ranked accordingly. The central idea is to build a page that explains your target phrase as best as possible. The more information you can provide, the better rankings your site will receive, and obviously will make your site more useful for people that go and visit it. You want to ensure that your site is not centered around affiliate ads. Make your content the star. Advertising and everything else is simply used to enhance your site, to make it more relevant, to make it more useful for people, because there actually are people out there who, want to see advertising on websites about relevant products. It may annoy some people, but to others, it does not. One particular thing here that 99% of marketers do not actually realize is that Google employs an independent team of site reviewers. So there's truly no way that you're going to hide anything from Google long term. All of these automated software content systems that are out there that are, building these cookie cutter websites to where every affiliate essentially ends up with the same exact thing. Even if you can use something like this and get good results to start with, you're going to find down the road that a Google update will come along, or maybe just wake up one morning and your sites have simply disappeared from the rankings. And then, any of that income that was coming in off of those sites can literally die overnight. And if you are depending on that income, there's honestly nothing worse than thinking you had everything figured out and, had actually succeeded, only to find out that maybe you tried to take a shortcut and it ended up getting found out. Actually recently got a chance to talk to one of these Google reviewers, and they revealed a little bit of information about what actually goes on as part of the job. And it's not just one specific person that's going out there and looking at your website, but Google will actually get a handful of people, maybe 5 or 6 different people, and they'll send all of them independently to go and look at your website and give it a rating of essentially whether your website is useful to visitors or not, and whether it's useful to people searching a specific keyword phrase or not. And it's actually this way, the goal of Google doing this is not to throw out all of these affiliate websites essentially, but they're trying to improve their search engine listings, because Google's goal is to deliver the best possible results for any given search. And sometimes this may mean kicking out the sites that are only built to promote affiliate ads, but then if you create a useful website that simply uses some advertising on it, you won't be identified as one of these, only in existence for, affiliate advertising type of websites. And that is actually one of the things that Google reviewers will flag sites for. And if it's determined that a website really only exists for affiliate advertising purposes and doesn't really offer anything of useful value to the site visitors, then and if a number of these different Google reviewers all think the same thing about your site, then you can actually end up dropping off the search engine rankings overnight. You may not know why, but this can actually be the reason why. If anybody has any questions at this point about content writing, search engine optimization, keyword targeting, anything relating to that, or even anything else that I've talked about so far, feel free to ask your questions now, and we'll move along in just a minute if nobody else has questions. All right, no questions. If not, I will go ahead and move on. I want to talk to you about what building Amazon affiliate websites can actually do for you. what if you just created one website every month for the next year, for example? If each site you built made $200 a month, you'd end up, and you built one site a month, you'd end up with 12 sites after a year, earning, an average approximate income of $2,400 per month, which for the average American, this is actually a full-time living for most people. Now, just imagine what you can do with 5 or even 10 years worth of site building, or if you decide, to work a little bit harder and build more than one website every month. After 10 years in 12 sites a year at $200 per month per site, you could actually be making $24,000 a month from just building one Amazon affiliate website every month. I challenge you to go and find a job that will start you at a salary of $28,800 per year, and then every year that you work for that company beyond that point, they give you a raise of an additional $28,800 a year. That job just simply doesn't exist except for on the online world. After 10 years of building Amazon sites, you could actually be making $288,000 per year from building just 120 Amazon affiliate sites. Over the course of an entire 40-year career, you could actually retire with an annual income of $1.1 million, as surprising as it may seem. There's really no real career out there that offers this much of an income swing, especially from a starting salary to, an end of your career salary. I mean, you'd have to do some pretty amazing things in a career to advance from $28,000 a year to $1.1 million a year after a 40-year career span. But with building Amazon affiliate websites, or even any kind of affiliate websites, you can actually make this happen over the course of your lifetime. And then when you retire, the income that your sites are making still continues to roll in every month. It actually doesn't end. The biggest question you might be thinking is, if this is so easy, why isn't everyone doing it? Why isn't everybody making $1 million a year promoting Amazon affiliate websites? The biggest problem that I've seen with people not wanting to give it a try or not succeeding with it is that a lot of people don't think that they have the time that it takes to actually do the work necessary. They might say, oh, I have to build a website every month and I have to do it every single month for the rest of my life or something, or but that's really not the case. It's just examples, that I'm giving out here, but you can work at your own pace. You can build a website as quickly as you want to, or you can, take as long as you want to. Build one Amazon affiliate website over the next year and just simply use it as a way to supplement the normal income from your job that you may work. It can really be adjusted for anybody's situation for how much time that they have to devote to the work. With just an hour of work every day, you can build an entire site in approximately 1 month. So even if you're working a real job, you can get off of work, 5 days a week, for example, and just sit down for 1 hour and try to build one page on your website. And your site will be done in less than a month, actually. I typically recommend building 20-page affiliate websites to start with. Simply commit to doing the work and don't make excuses why you can't do the work or why you can't make the time to do the work. If it's something you really want enough for yourself, then you just simply have to tell yourself that you're going to do it and, make a plan for yourself, write up a schedule for yourself, and abide to it just like you would, any other real job. Honestly, your biggest obstacle here is yourself. One of the things that trips up most people and why they end up spending so much time to do something that maybe doesn't necessarily bring them success is that a lot of people feel like everything they put out there on the internet has to be completely perfect. They'll sit there and fine-tune things over and over again. They'll read what they wrote and, not just spell check it, but like go deeper than that and literally try to make everything perfect. And while the end result can look nice, it's honestly just a waste of time in a way, because you're only one person. There's only so much that you can do in any given day, and when you're constantly focused on making everything perfect, then you just simply won't ever get anything done. If you are building a website, the website will never actually get finished because you'll always be making changes to it, making improvements to it, and you just say, well, I just need to do this one more thing before I'm going to launch it, and then you do that one thing, and then you're like, well, I want to do this other thing, and it just creates this big snowball effect. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him or not, but a friend of mine, Mario Brown, has this particular saying that he likes to use, which I really like, but I can't take any credit for because it's his saying and not mine, is take massive, imperfect action. This basically just means what I was just describing to you here. Just figure out what you need to do and put it out there. And then, if you have the time to go back later and to make some revisions to stuff, then, do that, and that's fine when you can spare the time to do it. But when you're first trying to get started, it's a little more complicated than that. The startup and upkeep costs are affordable for any budget. You can run each of these sites for an average of about $2 per site per month, which is affordable for pretty much anybody. And there's no technical knowledge needed to do this. I want to show you just a couple of sites that I've done here in the past. This one site was actually the Amazon site that I was talking about earlier, the one specific site that actually propelled me into my current career as an Amazon product developer. Dogcratesizes.com is a site that I built in 2010, and just getting involved in a normal conversation on the forums, some people were talking about wanting to see some examples of these Amazon affiliate websites, and I decided to share mine, not even thinking about what might come as a result of it. And it was actually this single act of building this site and sharing it on the forums that actually led to my entire career happening. And most importantly, I built this site in less than 2 weeks. And then once I shared it, I actually ended up selling Dog Crate Sizes exactly 6 weeks after I registered the domain name, and I sold it for a whopping $3,000. So, it is very reasonable to go out there and to build a site in a week or two even, and turn around and sell it for thousands of dollars. The site, as I had originally built it, actually held the #1 spot on Google for more than 2 years. The new owners recently changed the theme on it and kind of redesigned the site a little bit, added some new content to it, which is good content, but it's not horribly relevant to the dog crate niche anymore, and actually resulted in it dropping down. But even a #2 ranking to still be achieved on this site after 3 years of it being built is not too bad. Another site that I built, bassguitarbrands.com. You guys can actually go and take a look at these sites. I'm pretty sure that Bass Guitar Brands is actually still in the original form that I built the site for. I built this site for one of my customers in 2011 and was paid $1,200 to build it. And after 2 years and absolutely no marketing or link building, this site still remains #1 for the primary keyword phrase, which receives, I believe the last that I checked, 500 or more monthly Google searches. So, this is definitely not a bad keyword to be ranked for here. Guy gets a lot of traffic on his site and actually makes regular sales on bass guitars. This site in total was built with just 4 days worth of work. Now, these 4 days worth of work, I actually sat there and worked the entire day. At least a normal 8 or so hour work day. So, I'm not saying that like everybody can run out and build a site in 4 days if you're working another job. But if you have all the time to devote to, doing this type of work, this is something that you can do quickly and make a pretty substantial amount of money for the time that you're investing into it. With 4 days worth of work for $1,200 total, that's $300 a day for the work that I was doing, which for most people out there, if you could make $300 a day every single day, you'd be making plenty of money. Another thing worth pointing out here with this one particular site is that it actually outranks major international websites that are viewed as authority websites for so many different subjects. GuitarCenter.com. You would think that Guitar Center would have the #1 ranking for pretty much anything guitar related, no matter what kind of guitar it is. But Bass Guitar Brands actually outranks Guitar Center for this keyword phrase. And it even outranks sites like Yahoo's shopping website and even Wikipedia, which is often found among the tops of Google rankings. You may recognize this again. At the beginning of the webinar, I was asking you what life you want for yourself. To either work for yourself and control your own income, or to work for others and let them control your income. If you chose to work for yourself and take control of your own destiny, I would actually like to invite you to join my Amazon affiliate coaching team, where I will personally teach you everything that you're going to need to do to make this successful for you and to develop your affiliate business into whatever it may be that you're picturing it to be built into. If you're just looking to get a couple of sites running to supplement your income, I can teach you to do that. If you're looking to build an arsenal of Amazon websites and you want to make a full-time income so you can quit your job, I will teach you to do that as well. I'm actually going to work with you guys individually and teach you whatever you want to know about your given situation. So here's a website address here. There is actually a short questionnaire on this website right here to ask you a couple of questions about what it is that you're trying to accomplish and how you might learn the best from me, because the #1 key to this is that I want you to be successful, and in order to make you successful, I need to know what works best for you. And so I want to actually custom tailor a coaching program to the needs that you may have. And just open up a browser and another window over here and just go to this website address and take a look at the short questionnaire. Answer the 1 or 2 questions that will be presented to you, and take a look at what exactly I can do for you to help you out with your Amazon website needs. I'm going to give you guys just a couple of minutes to go and check that out real quick. Don't forget, I still have the bonus niche research guide that I want to share with you guys in just a moment. I will send you the link for that in just a second. But if you would like, go ahead and check out this invitation questionnaire page here. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to go ahead and ask me some questions now while you still have me here. And, I'm more than happy to answer anything you may be wondering. Ask questions about this program, or even ask questions about anything I've gone over the course of this webinar. I'll give you guys just another minute or two. See if you have any more questions, and then I will move along and end it by giving you the link to my niche research guide for you. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to come here and listen to what I have to say today, and I hope you have taken something valuable away from this training webinar. Whether you go on to get additional coaching from me or not, it's not the point here. The point is just for you to take something valuable away from this lesson, to be able to apply it to your own work and make some improvements to the way that you currently do things. And whether you decide to go on and receive some personal coaching from me or not to help you with your future plans, I still want all of you guys to succeed, and I hope you can take some of the things that I've said today and use them to help you out. Give you just maybe 60 more seconds here or so if any of you guys have any questions you want to throw out real quick, and if not, I will move on and show you the link for the bonus niche research guide here. All right, feel free to, still take a look at this invitation questionnaire page here. If you have any questions, just, feel free to get in touch with me through my support ticket system. It's at ryanstevensonplugins.com/support. I can be reached there at any time. I don't use a support staff. I answer everything myself personally, so you can get in touch with me directly through there. For those of you guys that do want to take advantage of this chance to get some personal coaching from me, if you do decide to sign up today, once you actually get the account information, you're going to get a big package full of tools and existing training materials that I have created over the course of the last 3 years. And you're actually going to get to schedule a personal phone call session with me, where I'll actually give you a call at a time and date of your choosing, and discuss with you the goals that you may have as an affiliate marketer, and to help you come up with an action plan that you can actually use to then put, your goal and to make it into a reality for you. I will go ahead and move on here and show you the bonus link here. Just go to tmazonpro.com/niche-guide.zip and you can download this free guide here. It's actually 2 different guides bundled into one. How to find a niche market, and then also how to research Amazon products for your niche and register a domain name for them. And actually includes, my step-by-step strategy that I use for that. I'll leave this up on the screen for just another minute or two. I'll still be around for a couple more minutes, you guys. If you happen to have any questions for me, feel free to ask. Once again, I really appreciate everyone taking the time to stop by and check out my webinar today, and I hope you've taken something valuable away from it.